Then he gave me 200,000. Then I resigned. I believe na yung idea ko is actually will work.
Yes. Hello there, I'm Sam Sadhwani, and this is Speaking of Money, a GoTyme podcast where we have beautiful conversations with the brilliant minds of today. And today, we are joined by a celebrated athlete and entrepreneur known for revolutionizing the running community in the country through the Run Rio races. His passion for fitness and his innovative entrepreneurship made him a key figure not just in sports, but also in the business world. Let's welcome Coach Rio de la Cruz. Welcome to the show, Coach.
Hi, Sam. Thank you so much for having me.
So, first and foremost, I'll dive right to it.
Okay.
Can you take us back to where it all started? What initially sparked your passion for running?
Okay. Well, first, just to share with you, I came from nothing. No, my parents separated when I think I was 9 months old. My father cannot support me. So I realized that when I was like 11 or 12 years old.
That was early on talaga you realized.
Kasi because when I asked for something, he cannot give. So I realized like, we're poor.
That's when you realized
yes,
11 ka pa lang.
Yes. So from there, I'm thinking if I can continue my education. And this coach of mine actually introduced me to running.
Okay.
So there's a parang time trial in our school or performance trial. He went to our classroom and then he actually invited and identified my classmates. So I'm not part of it.
Hindi ka kasali
Di ako
sa
kasali.
listahan.
But because those are my friends, so I went and I actually tried out and then end up I'm actually the one who got in.
Oh, wow.
Yes, because in our barangay, some of our regular games are the Pinoy games. Like,
right. Parang mga patintero. Ganon.
Agawan base.
Yung kailangan mabilis ka
yes,
talaga.
At saka yung piko. Di ba?
Yes,
Then I realized actually recently, hindi naman recently, when I was in college, like those games actually helped me because the piko is actually plyometrics.
Oh, I see.
Diba?
Totoo. True. Yes.
And then your agawan base is actually parang high intensity workout. Diba? So I just realized na parang, actually that prepared me.
It worked pala.
It worked. And then it became really serious when I was watching TV. And I realized like I want to be in the Olympics.
Wow.
And then I want to use these sports so that I can get a scholarship in the school. So my coaches and my teacher helped me about this one. So and then I pushed myself and there's a lot of challenges because as I mentioned to you, we are poor and I cannot buy my shoes. So I actually ran barefoot during that time. But I'm persistent and because I have a goal. So I want to finish my education because in my family I am the only one who graduated college.
So, very inspiring.
I trained for my own and asked help from my friends and my some of my friends because every summer I actually visit Baguio to train. Gusto kong parang ahead of them.
So
altitude
passionate
training.
ka talaga about running.
Yes, altitude training. So whenever there's a fun run, I actually make sure na I have to win kasi may cash prizes.
Competitive ka din also.
Competitive.
So it was early on when you first tried out na in love ka talaga with running. But when did you realize that you could turn it into a business?
Actually, before that, yung main objective ko talaga is to compete in the Olympics. Unfortunately I don't have financial support. So when I graduated in the university, I actually coach and went to a company. So, but my mind is actually outside.
So you went corporate first?
Yes. I'm mobile, so I can't afford yung sitting down long day in an office. But in my mind, I'm thinking how I can improve the running community.
So habang nag-work ka sa corporate, you're still thinking about running?
Yes, I'm actually thinking of organizing a race because in my experience, before, a long time ago, whenever I join races, it's actually the standard is very low. What I meant by that is the organizer actually providing us with tap water. In the
Okay.
bucket, you
Right. Oh,
using
wow.
a
Okay.
tabo.
Wala pang mga
Bibigyan
bottled
ka niyan.
water or
Yes,
wala pa?
wala. And then second, wala kaming timing chips. So you just get a stick or parang ribbon.
Okay.
So for every U-turn slot, so you get that. And then third is the road. If it's not big event, you are actually running with vehicles, so very dangerous.
Yes.
And then I had this experience joining races abroad. So I'm thinking, I believe I can help the community by providing them with quality events, with the knowledge that I learned or see in other
From coaching
countries.
and running
Yes.
also.
So I implemented that one. But it's actually not smooth sailing when
I'm
I
sure.
organized my first race. Actually, I was in the corporate world. And then the guy who helped me, actually, I owe it to him. I sent a sponsorship letter.
Okay. To a brand to
Yes,
sponsor the
my
race.
friend. He's my godfather now because
wow.
so I sent a letter. And then he gave me 200,000. And then I resigned. To focus.
I mean, it's go big or go home,
Yes,
diba?
yes, it's to focus. Because I believe na yung idea ko is actually will work.
Yes.
Because as I mentioned to you, running is not that popular. So sabi
Yeah,
ko,
you were one of the first pioneers talaga of organized runs here.
yeah, so before, when you organize a race, like 500 participants is was a successful event.
And now, how many participants do you have?
10,000.
Wow.
But when I organized my first race, 1,800.
Okay. That's
Because
a lot
I did
still
a lot of,
for your first race.
promotions. Actually, during that time, it's very, very funny. So I just want to share that with you.
Of course.
So when I starting the first event, I'm actually the one who's cutting the bib number and
Oh, wow,
printing it out.
okay.
And we don't have a timing chip. So me and my mga kasama, we created what you call this, yung barcode. Diba? Pag you buy
yes,
something,
yes.
so we use that one. So we attach it in the bib number. I did that one by one.
manual talaga.
Manual. I
Yeah.
actually printed the barcode and then I bought acetate and cut it out in
Right,
small
right.
pieces and then I stick into it and then lagay ko sa bib number one by one. Then when you cross the finish line, I have to get that one and then put in the stick.
Right.
So I know who's the first one kasi meron na
Wow.
akong record.
So you really put in the hard work to make.
And then, wala pa akong car before, so I'm using a motorcycle. So I actually the one who's coordinating with the supplier of the singlet and t-shirt. I went to their office and then put it in front of my motorcycle or at the back. And then I negotiated with parang fitness gyms to set up a table. So yung table tsaka yung chair, it's foldable. It's actually behind my back.
Wow,
So
okay.
I did
You would carry it
yes, and then
yourself.
the plastic is actually in front of me. It's actually tall like this. So it's hard to see.
Yeah,
So, and then I
yeah.
set up the table and then everyone I invite. So I was the one manning the registration and then during the race day, I was the MC, setting up the
Multi-talented,
stage.
yes.
Actually, I experienced everything. So that's why I'm really proud of it because I learned from it.
course.
So
Rightfully so.
yeah, so there's challenges yung first ko, but I actually fell in love with it. I love the achievement,
Right.
the inspiration and the
Yeah,
motivation.
and the hard work you put in.
Yes.
Growing up, when you were doing all these, like from your first race, did you imagine that it would be the way it is now, this big?
Actually, no, but I believe na I can make it big.
Okay.
Kasi
So you always knew that kaya.
yes, kaya. So nung parang we had like 1,800 and then 2,000, 3,000 and then the event almost every month. Then I realized like I think there's something here. And then second is na-realize ko how I can make it more exciting. Kasi if you run, di ba, boring siya. Let's accept it because you're running against your mind.
I hate to agree, but
Yes, di ba? But if
Yes.
you're actually preparing properly for it,
Yeah.
it's actually very enjoyable. And then second is, kasi di ba parang fad siya nung naging popular siya back in 2010.
Okay.
So I did some research. Actually, during that time, badminton was very popular.
I
Di ba?
remember that. Yes, yes.
All the basketball gyms or
Yes,
converted into
yes, exactly.
playing badminton court. After a year, it's actually went down. Di ba?
Okay.
So I'm asking myself why? Because I don't want the community to be like that. Then I found out that everyone is playing badminton without education. So they got injured, diba? They playing the hard surface.
Yes,
so,
as a hobby.
Yes, and they don't know how to warm up and then cool down and prepare for it. So me as a coach, I realized na I think I can make this sustainable. So by teaching them how to run properly, created running clinics, and then inviting runners to join our races. And, preaching to them
Right.
the importance of preparation.
Right.
Because, again, we want to sustain.
Do you think your experience as a runner, because to be a runner, to be an elite runner, you need hard work, dedication. Do you think it helped your mindset in creating these organized runs?
Definitely. Actually, I will add to that the discipline and time management.
Time management.
Yes. So when I was an athlete and student, actually this is kind of stream. Because I have a plan na I have to be in bed by 8 p.m.
Wow.
Latest
Okay.
9. I'm actually angry when I'm like, it's 9 p.m.
Really?
already.
So disciplined.
Yeah, because in Marikina, we have this track oval. Very
Okay.
popular in the community. So if you go there like 5 a.m. or 6 a.m., you cannot run properly because they're walking everywhere. So me, my main focus is number one, to improve my performance and to make sure na I will finish my education. Kasi after you train, you're sleepy diba? So you
Right.
cannot absorb what your teacher teaching
Right.
you.
Yes.
So I adjusted. So I have to sleep early and wake up very early, like 2:30.
2:30.
Yeah, so I have to start by 3 a.m. and finish by 5 or 6 a.m. so that when I go home, I will eat first and then take a nap at least 1 hour. So when I go to school, I'm actually fresh and then I train again in the afternoon.
Yeah,
so with
I
that
actually-
discipline and time management, it actually helped me with my business.
I actually read online that running helped you finish your education. That's correct.
Yes. So because of running, I got a scholarship from the University of the Philippines. And now I'm coaching and I'm actually going everywhere to identify potential athlete and giving them an opportunity to finish their education in UP. So they become a varsity and then I'm actually have some athletes already graduated and telling them that go back to your province and start the community there.
Right.
And maybe we can actually help them as well to go
It's also
here.
about building community, It's nice that running has given you a way to give back also.
Yes. And I'm actually very happy that I'm coaching the university because if not, I will not be able to afford giving them a proper education because getting into the university is actually free education, diba? As long as you're a varsity. So similar to the path that I went through.
What would you say are your proudest accomplishments during your organized runs or during your running? What do you think you're most proud about?
So as an athlete, I was able to compete in the university, in the UAAP. So I was a champion in the 1,500, 5,000, and 10,000. And I was able to set a UAAP record during my time. And then as a race organizer, actually, when I'm seeing a lot of run clubs is actually growing,
Right.
and the community is growing, I'm saying to myself like, wow, I'm part of that, diba, from the beginning, and of course, making the run successful because we as a organizer, when I started the business, I made sure na it's not only running. I want to make a unforgettable experience.
Okay.
I want to create moment. so that when these runners come to our races, they will come back. Because if it's bad experience, I will definitely tell you na hindi na sila babalik.
Right.
Lalo na kapag mag-run sila ng 42K na walang preparation, it's very painful. So
I'm sure.
so,
I can imagine. So you mentioned the first step you took to make these organized runs an unforgettable experience for people. So you organized your first run. What did you do moving forward? How did you grow this business?
So basically, we emphasize or focus on our social media.
Okay.
So during that time, meron ng social media but not
as
big.
prevalent as now.
But we always made sure na we listen to our runners. So they gave us feedback, negative or positive. Actually, the reason why we are very successful is because of our runners. So whenever the race finished, I always go to the social media and check their comments and suggestions. So I always put that into
And
planning.
how did you find these runners? Did they found you on social media, or is it word of mouth? How did that come about? How did you grow your community?
So, we created our own website before. And then as I mentioned to you, I went to different locations to set up a registration.
Right.
And then some companies noticed us. So we were the preferred race organizer. Actually, there was a time na 99% or 90% of the running in Metro Manila, they preferred Run Rio to organize. I think the key for that is whenever we create a great event, yun, parang yung mga runner namin yung nag-i-invite
To other
runners. Like, hey, I joined this race. It's really good experience. You might,
So very organic then.
Yes, organic. Oo.
So were there moments where you felt the risk of failure? Na, wala, this won't work talaga. But you pushed through.
Kasi every event, I would say there's no perfect running event.
Of
no?
course.
And sometimes there's really big challenges na you want to stop doing it because it's really painful. For me, when I started the business, it's more on, passion. So before business, I would say 70% passion, 30% business. So whenever I hear bad comments to our events, it's actually affect me.
Of
No,
course.
hindi ako nakakatulog thinking of that, how I can improve. And by providing them a great event, particularly I'm focusing on the very basic safety, security, and experience of our runners.
So you would say it's very important to care.
Yes, definitely. That's actually number one priority of ours. So we always made sure na when they cross the finish line, we want them to return. Of course, we have some challenges also na we have to choose or see some ideal route para hindi siya malaking impact to the non-runners. So those are the things na parang from us until now are the challenge. Kasi you close the road and you're actually affecting other community and you don't want to be that guy na parang affecting their usual life.
Right. So we've talked about how you were one of the first pioneers of organized runs. And now there are quite a number of communities that form runs. Why do you think your running business stands out in the fitness industry?
So, number one, maybe because we were the first and the longest or oldest race organizer in the country. Second is we believe in what we are doing. And me as a founder and race organizer, I'm a runner itself. So, I'm actually putting a lot of effort making sure na when I organize event, I'm in the runner's perspective,
Yes.
no? Na making sure of that. I think that's my advantage to other race organizer because they are businessmen or they are like joined our races before. They get the idea from what we are doing. But me, it's more on passion.
Right.
No? So sometimes actually I kasi as I mentioned to you, I want
having
to...
too much passion is never a bad thing.
Yes. So I want to create moment. I want to create good experience. So sometimes we over our budget. So we will talk about that more later. But now that I have people behind me, so they controlling me like, oh, you cannot do that.
So I also have to ask, of course, I have to ask that your Afro has become a signature part of your brand. Was this intentional or was it organic? How did that happen?
Okay, so before kasi I'm parang short hair lang.
Okay.
And I have a scar here that I have to cover. So that's why
You grew your
grow
hair.
my hair.
Oo.
And then I realized people noticed me with my Afro. So when I created our logo, I made sure it's actually
Kasama yung Afro.
Oo. And then during that time, running is very popular and it's actually became iconic. So when you talk about running, it's Coach Rio and then Run Rio.
So naging icon na yung Afro mo.
So I cannot cut.
Yeah, you have to keep this for a while now. So running has become quite popular here already. Like we mentioned, a lot of people are organizing runs more and more. What do you envision for running in the Philippines? And how do you plan to continue contributing to its growth?
So you are correct that running is very popular now. But if we compare this era, they call it running era now, but before there's a running boom. Actually, this is, if I'm not mistaken, this is the third running boom in Philippines.
Interesting.
Before 90s, and then 2010, and then now. Actually, before pandemic, the growth of running is going down.
Oh, really? I would think it would boom during the pandemic.
Actually, going down in terms of the participation.
Okay.
So because of the pandemic, is actually hit. And in our research, whenever there's a economic problem, participation in running grows or increase.
Because it's free.
Yes, and
technically,
because they have a lot of time to train. So something like that. And then before kasi, running boom is only concentrated in Metro Manila.
Okay.
No? And now the difference is actually nationwide. So me as a race organizer and as a runner, my always goal is how we can sustain the interest of our runners.
Right.
So I will go back to the style or idea that we are creating to create moment for our beginner, to create a great experience and making sure that our races are very safe. And actually, I'm preaching this to some of our friends na organizer na din. No, na focus on giving the very basic needs of our runners.
What do you think draws people to running?
I think now it's more on if you're not into running, you're not in.
Is that what's happening now?
Yes. But more than anything, I think the people are very health conscious.
Okay.
Especially during the pandemic. And, there's a limitation kasi when you're with your movement. And then when the pandemic actually ends, people I want to go out. And then they realize the importance of sports or having a healthy lifestyle. And it's just happened that running is actually the simplest sports I believe in all sports because everyone can run.
I don't know about that.
Even it's a short, diba?
Yeah, short run lang. Yes,
diba?
yes.
Kasi if you're playing basketball, volleyball, or football, you actually need a skill. How to dribble, how to kick the ball. In running, you just need a pair of shoes and open space to run. And then later on, if you want to increase or improve your performance, you research or you hire a coach to, improve your running form. So I think because people into it now, and actually there's a lot of benefits, health benefits, and then mental, diba? Parang if you're running, you are actually creating the happy hormones, diba?
Right. It's like some sort of meditation also.
Yes. So me, actually, when I run, we call this runner's high. So
they say, is this true? They say that you reach runner's high or you feel the runner's high after 10 kilometers.
Well, depends. Me, sometimes it's very short. Okay. So when I run, actually I got a lot of new ideas through running. So when I run
so even when you're running, you're thinking about running.
Yes. And there's sometimes I'm like crazy also because I'm running 2 hours, 3 hours, and then in the middle, I'm raising my hand because I'm super high that I'm thinking na I'm in the Olympics and I'm winning. So I'm really
So manifesting while running.
Yes. So I'm actually smiling even though I'm running 2 hours, 3 hours.
I wish I could see you on the street with your hands up thinking you're in the Olympics.
Yeah. So you can only achieve that one if you are actually preparing properly. Because if you're running na parang it's really hard for you, you cannot actually think properly. Diba? So if running is really easy for you, then the runner's high will be coming.
I mean, they do say that runners are the happiest people on earth.
Agree.
You agree?
Yes. And I'm actually right now, diba, parang running or running clubs or what you call this, running events now is a new dating app. Because they meet
Yes,
people.
I've heard that as well. It's a great way to meet people also.
Yes.
Or if anything, make friends.
Yes, definitely. So it's actually helping us also to grow the community. And aside from the social media, because we see a lot of people taking pictures, posting in the social media, and we notice in our database that the demographics are actually improving. Before pandemic, our database in terms of demographics, gender, 38% are female.
Okay.
And 62% are male.
Wow, it's male dominated.
Yes, but now it's actually 52% male and 48% female.
Wow.
And
okay.
before, the age group that are dominating are 30 to 40 years old, working class. And now it's actually nag-equal. 20 years old to 30 years old are now equal to 31 to 40 years
Wow.
old. So we are actually getting a lot of younger people.
Okay. And why do you think you're getting more women?
Because number one, there's some races na really focusing on that community.
Okay.
I mean, my wife did her first women's run PH last March,
Wow.
and we actually got 5,000, 6,000 runners. All
women.
All women.
So it's also your help growing the community
Yes.
that's drawing more younger people and more women.
Yes, and not only focusing on the women, we actually just created the Pride Run, focusing on the
LGBTQIA plus community.
Yes.
So it's inclusive.
Yes, and also we created the Earth Day Run for our environment. And people actually, or runners, parang supporting this kind of activity more than anything. So we noticed that one. So that's why we are creating this event for the specific community. And we are very happy na we are part of it. So I learned along the way, and maybe because it also helped me during my time when I'm coaching individual people like celebrities and businessmen, and they give me also some tips. Na when we are running, I'm also asking them, how do you become successful?